I'm Margaret in Windsor, and I'm putting this up for a reason. And I know that anybody, there's the name of it. And I don't doubt the doctor that prescribed this whatsoever. I don't. I think he did the right thing. And it's for a bacterial, I believe, bladders or urinary bacterial infection. And these are evidently pretty potent. And on it said that that effects could be that it could cause death. I read the effects and etc. etc. But in all this, I'm going to take a picture of them too. Now this is purchased at. I'm saying this for a reason because it's very hard for me to have gotten up on YouTube all this time and have right now the phone has been cloned back on August the 1st, and a lookalike given to me, and that's the reason if Facebook keeps coming back saying it's not my, to contact them, and I caught on to it and found out that my phone had been cloned. I know when and how, and even that's dangerous for me, for the people that are behind it. So now then, let me jump to this because obviously I went to urgent care, and I think this doctor did exactly what he should have done. I'm not going to put his name up there. It may have gone up, but hopefully these people involved can't control United Health and ARP, who have always been nice to me, okay? So anyway, I go in there, and I get this medicine, and I come back, and part of it says if you get diarrhea real bad, or I forgot what else, the effects, but I had really bad suddenly diarrhea just all over the place, and I had congestion here, right here, so bad, and then anyway, I'll just make it short. I come off of it and didn't take it anymore. I'd only taken 3. I took it at 12 when I got them, and 12 that night, and 12 that day, and I got so sick, I believe that's how it went. I think there's just, I think I took 3. And so I didn't take anymore, but there was a lot going on where I'm living. Like on the roof, they had sealants, and I think they had tar, but they had sealants and all this stuff that makes me so sick. I have an autoimmune disorder, and I'm allergic to chemicals. And I take a medicine for that over all these years. And I came to this doctor who's my primary care. I think in 2009 or earlier. I think it's 2009. So she's been my doctor ever since, and she lowered the dosage. It's Nambutone. So I could go on. There's been other problems that shouldn't have existed with her prescribing Nambutone for me. It's totally for inflammation caused by chemical reaction to chemicals. When I'm around them, it shuts down makes my immune system attack itself. I'll get in trouble if I put this up. Damned if I do and damned if I don't. And I'll go back to something real quick if I can get this up. So anyway, I really had trouble without going into it. Some of it's already up here, but you got to filter through all these videos to find it. Where a few years ago, my insurance didn't cover the Nambutone. There was alternatives. And my insurance wouldn't pay for it, okay? So the doctor put me on one or both of the other, and they didn't work. I had pains in my stomach, and I've forgotten. Didn't work. This one worked fine for me. Nambutone. It's generic for Relafin. Now, that had worked for me, and suddenly I'd go ahead and try at least one of them, maybe both of them, that were paid. This is back about 3 years ago. And I'm leaving out some things that happened that was connected with that to me. So anyway, I was told that they would pay, United Health and would pay, but the doctor had to write a note that that's what I needed to stay on the Nambutal. Well, finally, with some help, the doctor, primary care, did sign for me to get the Nambutal. Then she cut it down. Well, I think she'd already cut it down prior, but anyway. So I've had trouble getting that for some reason. I need it very bad. Over the years, it's been very rough for me the way I've had to live, and I've put all this up. So I go to this doctor, urgent care. Quite frankly, I put a picture up here where my feet were swollen out, and it's hard for me to get a cab. And I'm not going to say anything else here. It's quite unbelievable. Yet I couldn't make it up. And yes, I have put proof up here over the years of how people have gotten away. They become afraid of it, and hey, I'm getting beat up, and nobody's going to court for it. So, they go along with, they're real nice people, all of them. So LOA has given me heck. I pay a little bit of the fares that they get me with the cab. Otherwise, I'm shut down, ride-wise. So, let me go from here. I get a talking to, and I was told the last time I spoke to her and scheduled this appointment yesterday with the doctor, urgent care, for a 6-month checkup, where I was told by the woman, LOA, that a bill that I had said something about paying prior. How much did I owe? Oh, don't worry about it. Don't send us I send money order. Well, I did anyway. And I thought, well, she said I didn't owe. I was in good standing. So I sent her what I thought was over and would leave a credit. Well, when I scheduled to go to the doctor this time, the comment was made to me, well, I was trying to get, what'd she say, when you get an antibiotic. Well, it should have been just like this doctor prescribed it. And I beg pardon, I've had trouble where I'm living because of mold and mildew. I had an ear rupture, and I never got over that one. And it's caused my hearing to go really low. And nobody wants to deal with, well, I can't get an attorney to touch it. So, everybody can pretty much do and have that they want to, almost. And I know what was done to Anastasia. I know what's been done to me in the past. So now then, let me just cut to the chase. I think this doctor did the right thing. However, Walmart was the closest to urgent care, and I'm trying to save the bill to LOA, which they pay other people's bills. So anyway, I go over to Walmart's, which isn't far, in Valley View Mall, from urgent care. I go in there, and it seems that the doctor did call it in. He did do the lab. He asked me that I wanted for him to do a lab urine analysis, and I said yes, because I was really sick and awful. And so he said he had done it, and it came back with a bacterial infection in I believe he said urinary tract. I've still got the thing that comes with the medicine. I think somewhere it should be easy to get. All you have to do is Google the medicine or a doctor to see what it says. Anyway, so Walmart said that it was on back order there, and they'd call around and see if they could find another pharmacy. Who did I want them to call? I said, well, I usually go to Kroger Hollins, Williamson Road here. But it's a little far from me right at the moment, but I still go there. And up until recently, I went there about the second or third of every month or fourth, and got medicine, money orders to pay the few bills I can, and a few groceries. Now, I go through this that the woman at LOA made the comment. Well, I oh now suddenly I owe them um, enormous amount because quote I go here and there and all over the place, which is a friggin' lie. I'm not allowed to go to the library. I can't pay it. I'm not allowed to go out of town like they take people up to Williamsburg, out to all places, but I'm not allowed to. And then you'd have to hear the phone conversations, and it's appalling to know I sit here, what's been done to me in the past, and I've got to take this kind of language from people. Well, I just made the appointment to go to the doctor here, my primary care. Oh, excuse me for going to urgent care because she couldn't get me, and I have to schedule the ride 2 days ahead, and then they get into until you hear the tapes, if you ever do, and it's ongoing through my life, the laws that are broken against me. So it'd be a long shot and a chore, wouldn't it? Anyway, let me just put it this way. I got to my doctor yesterday, and that's supposed to be the 6 months, almost a joke, exam for me to see her. Well, that's always been in the past. It's take the blood, and she hardly ever did a urine lab test. Very seldom. And check my lungs, and that's about the extent of it, period. And she did give me, for the inflammation and for high blood pressure. There's only 2 pills that were prescribed for me. I believe when I had the ear infection and rupture a couple of years ago now, going on, it's like last January was a year ago. Because the doctor, ear, nose, and throat couldn't see me for quite a few days, she went ahead and she wrote a prescription for an antibiotic for it. So anyway, to my knowledge, that's probably the only one she's ever written. I know I had, what is it when you've had the, I had something that chicken pox when you've had them. I had that, so I don't know what they prescribed then, whatever they prescribed. I forgot what they call it now, but if you've ever had chicken pox when you were little, you can get it. So now then I want to go into and I get in trouble for telling this. I got a cab, and with all this talking to by LOA, who's supposed to protect the elderly, and I go over there. I go into Lewis Gale clinic, family clinic. That's where she's always been since I've gone to her. So they told me I had to fill out all these papers and reminded me before I came in. Well, I asked, do I have to? No, and I paid $15 on my account, which I forgot what I owe. I think I still owe about 50 now, or 55. 45. Anyway, I paid that on my bill. Got the receipt. She saw me. And the nurse came in and took the blood pressure, temperature, and it was all okay, she said. So now that I took this bottle of pills with me, I don't like being told that I'm after antibiotics. For God's sake, United Healthcare has everything that I've gotten for the last years and years and years, all right? A list of it. So anyway, the doctor comes in, and I've already told the nurse that I need a refill. I'm out because I've called to get a refill on the prescription Nambutone, which I have trouble getting from her for the inflammation because my immune system attacks itself. And that's what, I mean, I've already got heart that nobody told me until I went one night and my doctor wasn't there, and they asked me, did I know I had a heart arrhythmia? That's about December 2017. And so now let me just skip to this. My doctor comes in. I've told the medicines, even brought this one with me, about the bacterial from the other doctor, urgent care, to the nurse and told her I needed a prescription, that I was out of it on the Nambutone for inflammation, because the inflammation attacks the heart like it did, the lungs, every part of your body, your kidneys especially. So now then the doctor comes in and she's there, and I talked to her and I tried to hand her this bottle. I said, to show her, I said, because it upsets me that LOA can call me trying to get antibiotics for going to pick this one up, and I could be blamed for not going and picking it up. I wasn't taking care of myself. I mean, what on earth? This has been the routine throughout my life, that all this mess has gone on, and I can't get it into court or anything. That's the whole point in the Illuminati press that's involved in my kidnapping, takedown of my father. And they'd even use that against me because there's a seal been put on my very birth. I put all this up. So, well, it's about to go off. I tried to show her this, and I did. And she said, well, that he called her, or I think she said called her or sent her a letter that didn't find anything in the urine analysis. Well, here he's written this prescription. I had to wait to go back to Holland's Kroger to pick it up on a Tuesday to get a cab again, because supposedly nobody else had this medicine. Walmart didn't, etc. So I'm trying to show it to her, and she says, well, he said you really didn't have a bacterial. So now then, she should have. The doctor, when I was there, that prescribed it, said she's my primary care, so she should follow up on it. So by all means, she should have given me a urine test. She didn't. She didn't do a blood test. Squat. I will say this. I asked them, please. I was out of the Nambutone for the inflammation. I asked the nurse to have her call it in, and I'm not sure. I did mention it to her too. Yes, I did, because I also needed the cream that she had given me to put on my knee because it hurt so bad from the inflammation. So I did give her both of them. But to make sure, before I left and the cab sitting out coming, I told the receptionist, and she said, well, I got to call it in right now. They've got me calling it in right now. So she really had this down. I wanted to make sure she sent it to the right drugstore. That's where the cab scheduled to drop me off and let me pick it up. So there shouldn't have been any misunderstanding. In fact, the girl that come in about that time, I had walked out for a minute. I asked her to make sure, because the other one got busy there after I'd already told her this. So anyway, she said she'd make sure it was okay. And I said, well, I'm fixing to go and pick it up now. I've got a cab sitting right out there with her lights on. Well, when I got down there, I got a call on the way, and I couldn't hear it. It was the the doctor's office. I just left calling. So I didn't know why I couldn't hear her, and the sound was cut off, and I can't hear very well. I've lost my friggin' hearing. So, bacterial infection. So now then, I get to Kroger, out here where I live, closer, and they don't have it, and her office is closed.